A stored program that is attached to a table or a view is called A. Embedded select statement, B. Trigger, C. System file, D. Virtual file. Correct answer B. Trigger. A stored program attached to a table or a view in a relational database management system, RDBMS, is commonly known as a trigger. A trigger is a special type of stored procedure that automatically runs when an event occurs in the database server. DML triggers run when a user tries to modify data through a data manipulation language, DML event. DML events are insert, update, or delete statements on a table or view, in which normal form decomposition of a relationship is lossless join but may not be dependency preserving. A. PJNF, B. BCNF, C. Third NF, D. All of these. Correct answer B. BCNF. BCNF, Boy's Code Normal Form, is an advanced version of the third normal form and often it is also known as the 3.5 normal form. A relation is said to be in BCNF in Dbms if the relation is already in third normal form, and also for every functional dependency X is either the super key or the candidate key. BCNF can be used to obtain a lossless join decomposition into third normal form, but does not ensure dependency preservation. DML is provided for A. Description of logical structure of database, B. Addition of new structures in the database system, C. Manipulation and processing of database, D. Definition of physical structure of database system. Correct answer C. Manipulation and processing of database. A data manipulation language, DML, is a computer programming language used for adding, inserting, deleting, and modifying, updating data in a database. Which of the following is an assertion to DBMS? A. Domain constraint, B. Generalization, C. Trigger, D. View. Correct answer A. Domain constraint. An assertion is a predicate expressing a condition that we wish the database to always satisfy. In other words, an assertion in SQL is a way to ensure that certain conditions or constraints are always met. It's used mainly to prevent invalid data entry into the database. Which advantages does a distributed database has over a centralized database? A. Slow response, B. Overall complexity, C. Modular growth, D. Software cost. Correct answer C. Modular growth. Distributed databases improve availability, scalability and performance but introduce complexity in management, security and consistency compared to centralized databases. Transaction management and recovery are more challenging in distributed databases due to potential failures across multiple sites. Which one of these disk array type is capable of the fastest read-write time and most efficient data storage? A. RAID 0, B. RAID 1, C. RAID 2, D. RAID 3. Correct answer A. RAID 0. RAID 0 is by far the fastest RAID type. However, it is also the only RAID type without fault tolerance. If one drive fails, all data in the RAID 0 array are lost. It should not be used for mission-critical systems. Which of the following SQL query shall output names of all customers? Ending with Smith. A. Select name from customer where name like _Smith. B. Select name from customer where name like %Smith. C. Select name from customer where name like Smith %. D. Select name from customer where name like Smith exclamation. Correct answer B. Select name from customer where name like %Smith. Underscore and percentage are wildcard characters. A wildcard character is used to substitute one or more characters in a string. Underscore represents a single character. Percentage represents 0 or more characters. Which of the following commands permanently delete the record marked for deletion from the database field? A. Pack. B. Zap. C. Seek. D. Skip. Correct answer A. Pack. Pack command removes the records marked for deletion from the current database. Syntax Pack database. Z Attack Proxy, ZAP, is an open-source web application security testing tool designed to help developers, security testers, and penetration testers identify vulnerabilities and security flaws in web applications. The index-seek operator uses the structure of a non-clustered index to efficiently find either single rows or specific subsets of rows. When you use the skip option in a query with an order by clause, you can exclude the first of set rows that have the lowest values according to the order by criteria. The transactional concurrency leads to A. Increase integrity. B. Consistency. C. Mutual execution. D. Throughput. Correct answer D. Throughput. Concurrent transaction execution refers to the ability of a database management system to handle multiple transactions simultaneously. While this can improve the performance of the system, it can also lead to various problems such as data inconsistency, lost updates, and deadlock. The way a particular application views the data from the database that the application uses is A. Module. B. Relational model. C. Schema. D. Subschema. Correct answer D. Subschema. The subschema is the logical view of the data as it appears to the application program. Consider a schema R and functional dependencies A to B and C to D. Then the decomposition of R into R1, UB, and R2, CD is A. Dependency preserving and lossless join. B. Lossless join but not dependency preserving. C. Dependency preserving but not lossless join. D. Not dependency preserving and not lossless join. Correct answer C. Dependency preserving but not lossless join. Lossless join decomposition is a decomposition of a relation R into relations R1 and R2 such that if we perform a natural join of relation R1 and R2, it will return the original relation R. This is effective in removing redundancy from databases while preserving the original data. Find the correct match for terms in column 1 to those in column 2. A. B. C. D. Correct answer C. Which one of the following statements is false? A. The data dictionary is normally maintained by the database administrator. B. Data elements in the database can be modified by changing the data dictionary. C. The data dictionary contains the name and description of each data element. D. The data dictionary is a tool used exclusively by the database administrator. Correct answer B. Data elements in the database can be modified by changing the data dictionary. Data sets and data dictionaries communicate data standards so that data can be collected and used consistently. This is a true statement that depicts the main purpose of a data dictionary. Which of the following is correct with respect to ODBMS? A. They are overtaking RDBMS for all applications. B. They have the ability to store complex data types on the web. C. They are most useful for traditional database tables. D. All of the above. Correct answer B. They have the ability to store complex data types on the web. ODBMS stands for Object-Oriented Database Management System, which is a type of database management system that is designed to store and manage object-oriented data. Object-oriented data is data that is represented using objects, which encapsulate data and behavior into a single entity. Which SQL statement will terminate a transaction? A. Save point. B. Rollback. C. Commit. D. Both B and C. Correct answer C. Commit. The commit statement can terminate the current transaction and make a permanent update to the data. We can get hold of the updated data once commit has been done. When the commit statement is executed, all locks on the table's impacted rows are released. It also helps in the removal of the save point. Normalization of database is essential too. 1. Avoid accidental deletion of required data when some data is deleted. 2. Eliminate inconsistencies when a data item is modified in the database. 3. Allows storage of data in a computer's disk. 4. Use a database management system. A. 1 and 3. B. 1 and 2. C. 2 and 3. D. 2 and 4. Correct answer B. 1 and 2. Data security threats include A. Privacy invasion. B. Hardware failure. C. Fraudulent manipulation of data. D. All of these. Correct answer D. All of these. Data security threats are any circumstance that could cause the loss, misuse, unauthorized access, disclosure, disruption, modification, or destruction of data. Hardware failure is a physical problem with a computer or other device that can cause data loss or corruption. Privacy invasion is the unauthorized access to or disclosure of personal information. Fraudulent manipulation of data is the unauthorized alteration of data for financial or other gain. Which is the correct hierarchy of a database? A. Rows, table space, table database. B. Rows, table, table space, database. C. Database, table, table space, rows. D. None of these. Correct answer B. Rows, table, table space, database. The hierarchy starts with the smallest unit of data, bit, which is combined to form larger units of data, byte, which in turn are organized into fields that make up a single record, which is then stored in a table, which is part of a larger database that is managed by a Dbms. Find the correct match for terms in column 1 to those in column 2. A. B. C. D. Correct answer D. A relational model which allows non-atomic domains is A. Nested relational data model. B. Non-atomic data model. C. Hierarchical data model. D. None of these. Correct answer A. Nested relational data model. The nested relational model is an extension of the relational model in which domains may be either atomic or relation valued. This allows a complex object to be represented by a single tuple of a nested relation one-to-one correspondence between data items and objects. Transaction timestamp is A. Not unique for each transaction. B. Larger for older transaction. C. Unique identifier assigned for each transaction. D. None of the above. Correct answer C. Unique identifier assigned for each transaction. Timestamp is a unique identifier created by the Dbms to identify the relative starting time of a transaction. Typically, timestamp values are assigned in the order in which the transactions are submitted to the system. So, a timestamp can be thought of as the transaction start time. Out of these, which one applies to a class not on object? A. Query. B. Scope. C. Update. D. Constructor. Correct answer B. Scope. Scope means that the method or variable may or may not be directly accessible to other objects or classes. Classes that do not have instances may be accessible to the system. The example of embedded SQL is A. Hard-coded SQL statements in a procedure. B. Hard-coded SQL statements in a trigger. C. Hard-coded SQL statement in a program language such as Java. D. The process of making an application capable of generating specific SQL code on fly. Correct answer C. Hard-coded SQL statement in a program language such as Java. Embedded SQL statements are SQL statements written in line with the program source code of the host language. The embedded SQL statements are passed by an embedded SQL preprocessor and replaced by host language calls to a code library. The output from the preprocessor is then compiled by the host compiler. Which is correct statement for triggers? A. To maintain views. B. To execute action automatically whenever an event occurs. C. To implement business rules. D. All of these. Correct answer D. All of these. Which one of the following is used to limit column values of a table? A. The check constraint. B. The limit constraint. C. The value constraint. D. The size constraint. Correct answer A. The check constraint. The check constraint is used to limit the value range that can be placed in a column. If you define a check constraint on a column, it will allow only certain values for this column. If you define a check constraint on a table, it can limit the values in certain columns based on values in other columns in the row. In context of two-phase locking protocol, which of the following statements is correct? A. Growing phase occurs after shrinking phase. B. In shrinking phase, transaction can obtain as well as release locks, but in growing phase, it can only obtain locks. C. In growing phase, transaction can obtain as well as release locks, but in shrinking phase, it can only release locks. D. In growing phase, transaction can only obtain locks, and in shrinking phase, it can only release locks. Correct answer D. In growing phase, transaction can only obtain locks, and in shrinking phase, it can only release locks. In the growing phase, a new lock on the data item may be acquired by the transaction, but none can be released. Shrinking phase, in the shrinking phase, the existing lock held by the transaction may be released, but no new locks can be acquired. Fourth, normal form relations are needed when A. There are multivalued dependencies between attributes in composite key. B. There are more than one composite key. C. There are two or more overlapping composite keys. D. There are multivalued dependency between non-key attributes. Correct answer A. There are multivalued dependencies between attributes in composite key. A relation will be in fourth normal form if it is in Boyce Codd normal form and has no multivalued dependency. Multivalued dependencies occur when an attribute depends on a set of values rather than a single value. By eliminating multivalued dependencies, data redundancy is further reduced. Grant and revoke are A. Mandatory access control. B. Discretionary access control. C. Database access control. D. Dbms access control. Correct answer B. Discretionary access control. Grant command is used to give access privileges to the users or other rights or opportunities for the database. The revoke command does just opposite to the grant command. It withdraws user privileges on database objects. Locks which are placed by command are known as A. Implicit locks. B. Explicit locks. C. Exclusive locks. D. Shared locks. Correct answer B. Explicit locks. Implicit locks are generally placed by the DBMS automatically. Most DBMS allow the developer or the application to issue locks which are referred to as explicit locks. Embedded pointer provides a or and dash. A. Secondary access path. B. Physical record key. C. Inverted index. C. All of these. Correct answer A. Secondary access path. Pointers provide a way to directly interact with memory locations, allowing for efficient manipulation of data and dynamic memory management. Let R be a relation scheme with the following dependencies. Which of the following is a key for R? A. CD. B. EC. C. AE. D. AC. Correct answer B. EC. The minimal set of the attribute which can uniquely identify a tuple is known as a candidate key. Functional dependency of R since C, E is not present on RHS of any functional dependency C and E has to be present in any candidate key. The two-phase locking protocol ensures A. Both serializability and recoverability. B. Serializability only. C. Recoverability only. D. None of these. Correct answer B. Serializability only. Basic two-phase locking protocol ensures only conflict serializability and strict two-phase locking protocol ensures recoverability as well. Approach S to distributed DBMS. A. Client-server system. B. Collaborating server. C. Middleware. D. All the above. Correct answer D. All the above. Client-server, one or more client and one or more server processes. Collaborating server, a collection of database servers, each capable of running transactions against local data, which cooperatively execute transactions spanning multiple servers. The middleware architecture is designed to allow a single query to span multiple servers, without requiring all database servers to be capable of managing such multi-site execution strategies. Tables derived from the ER diagram. A. Are totally normalized. B. Can be further denormalized. C. May have multi-valued. D. Attributes are always in first normal form. Correct answer D. Attributes are always in first normal form. Rules for finding a minimum number of tables required for an ER diagram. 1. A strong entity with single or composite attributes requires one table. 2. A strong entity with multivalued attributes requires two tables. 3. In the case of many-to-many relations between two entities, 3 tables are required. Designing physical model of DBMS requires information on I. Data volume. 2. Frequency of access to data. 3. Programming language used. 4. Secondary memory characteristics. A. 1 and 2. B. 1, 2 and 3. C. 1, 2, 3 and 4. D. 1, 2 and 4. Correct answer D. 1, 2 and 4. Consider join of a relation R with a relation S if R has n tuples. and S has n tuples, then maximum and minimum sizes of the join respectively are A, m plus n and 0. B, m into n and 0. C, m plus n and absolute value of m minus n. D, m into n and m plus n. Correct answer B, m into n and 0. The maximum size of the join of R and S is m into n, which occurs when every tuple in R matches with every tuple in S. The minimum size of the join is 0, which occurs when there are no matching tuples between R and S. Three-tier architecture consists of A, 2 clients layers and 1 server layer. B, 3 server layer. C, a client layer and 2 server layer. D, 3 client layers and 3 server layers. Correct answer C, a client layer and 2 server layer. A three-tier application architecture is a modular client-server architecture that consists of a presentation tier, an application tier, and a data tier. The data tier stores information, the application tier handles logic, and the presentation tier is a graphical user interface (GUI) that communicates with the other two tiers. The three tiers are logical, not physical, and may or may not run on the same physical server. Which statement can you use in embedded SQL to provide your host program with exception and warning information? A, whenever. B, into. C, cast. D, when it. Correct answer A, whenever. The whenever statement specifies the action to be taken when a specified exception condition occurs. Which statement is incorrect? A weak entity doesn't have a primary key. B, a relation can have multiple number of unique keys. C, relational algebra is more expressive than relational calculus. D, in a relation ordering of tuples is not substantial. Correct answer C, relational algebra is more expressive than relational calculus. The expressive power of relational algebra refers to its ability to express various operations and queries on relational databases. Relational algebra provides a formal mathematical framework for manipulating and querying data in a relational database, which is containing a list of blocks that have been updated in the database buffer. A, latches. B, swap space. C, dirty block. D, all of these. Correct answer C, dirty block. A database buffer in Dbms is a section of the main memory that is used for the temporary storage of data while moving from one location to another. Buffer manager in Dbms is responsible for allocating space for the database buffer and the data blocks, writing the data back to the disk, and removing the data blocks. In transaction, cascade rollback. A, can occur in systems which use deferred write-back. B, can occur in systems which use immediate write-back. C, occurs in systems which use the waterfall transaction management system. D, is a result of simultaneous transaction commits. Correct answer B, can occur in systems which use immediate write-back. With immediate write-back, if a transaction updates an attribute in the database, the modification is immediately made to the database image on the disk. If another transaction then reads that information, it is basically reading information from a transaction that has not yet been committed. If the modifying transaction now aborts, not only do its modifications have to be undone, but the transactions which have read the modifications will have to be aborted as well. This may cause further aborts, or so-called cascade rollbacks. Which one is the correct answer for following statements? First, a binary lock can have 3 states. Second, shadow paging is a recovery technique in databases. A. First true and second false. B. First true and second true. C. First false and second false. D. First false and second true. Correct answer D. First false and second true. A binary lock can have two states. Shadow paging is a recovery scheme in which database is considered to be made up of number of fixed size disk pages. A directory or a page table is constructed with n number of pages where each ith page points to the ith database page on the disk. The directory can be kept in the main memory. A trigger can be defined on how many tables? A. Only one. B. One of more. C. 1 to 3. D. Any number of tables. Correct answer A. Only one. First, no, a trigger cannot be associated with more than one table. However, a trigger can reference another. The reference to another table is what you want. Which statement to use to add schema in SQL environment? A. Add schema. B. Create schema. C. Insert schema. D. None of these. Correct answer B. Create schema. To create objects for a schema in SQL Server, you can use the create table statement with the schema name specified. In a stored procedure, when specifying a string parameter, you should use which one of these data types? A. Char. B. Var char2. C. Text. D. Real. Correct answer B. Var char2. The primary difference between varchar and varchar2 is that varchar is an ANSI standard while varchar2 is an Oracle standard. The character values are stored using the varchar2 data type. Because it is a variable length data type, we can alter the character variable's size during execution. Set concept is used in A. Network model. B. Hierarchical model. C. Relational model. D. None of these. Correct answer A. Network model. Set concept is used to define relationships between records, akin to links in a graph. Which one of the following problems can occur due to introducing locks in a concurrent transaction scenario? A. Information overwrite. B. Loss of information. C. Deadlock. D. Lack of integrity. Correct answer C. Deadlock. Deadlock can occur due to introducing locks in a concurrent transaction scenario. If a transaction needs access to an attribute that is locked, then that transaction is suspended until the attribute is available. Which level of database is closest to the user? A. Physical. B. Conceptual. C. Internal. D. External or view-based. Correct answer D. External or view-based. It is concerned with individual users. It describes the actual view of data seen by individual users. When an equi-join is performed on a table of n rows and a table of m rows, the resulting table has the following number of rows. A. M. B. N. C. The smaller of m or n. D. A number in the range 0 to m into n. Correct answer D. A number in the range 0 to m into n. An equi-join on a table of n rows and a table of m rows can result in a maximum of n into m rows in the resulting table, assuming all rows match the join condition or no specific condition is applied. Which set function should you use to add together the values in a column? A. Max. B. Count. C. Sum max name average. D. Average. Correct answer D. Average. The average function computes the average of values in a column or an expression. Sum computes the sum. Both functions work with numeric values and ignore null values.